what needs to happen. All right. Well, welcome to Architecture 3D2. I'm glad you guys could get up in the morning and take part in this. I want to just kind of go over the course a little bit with you guys today. I've had to shift things around from what I normally would do in order for this week to work, because normally we'd be right in on the computers right away and start working on a project. But that is not going to happen because I cannot get you all software fast enough to do that. So let me just answer a few questions. Get people in here. All right, you guys you had an easy time finding the link, right? It's right in the middle of the screen. So hopefully that kind of helped putting that on there. All right, let's start with the first things that are really important right away. That would be getting you signed up for college credit. For those of you who have completed Architecture 1 and Architecture 2 through Weber State, you can go on to weber.edu/concurrent and register for, I don't think it's CMT anymore. I think that's the wrong number. The course number is correct. Let me just check that real quick. Since you've already been admitted, you do not need to go in and pay the $30 again. You just need to register for the course, and that would be then the course fee on there. Just log in real quick. You do need to make sure that you are registered by the 4th of February. There is nothing I can do to extend that date for you. So preferably you do that this week. That would make life much easier for everybody involved. Keep in mind that this is our host for this course, and we do want to make sure that we have everything in line, at least in order to do what needs to happen the rest of this year. So just try to make sure you get that right. Right, link here, a little bit different here. So sorry about that. We'll pause. It is CMT. It is right. So CMT 2360 is a course you sign up for, and the CRNs on that. That is not correct. Okay. Let me fix that real quick. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I thought I had everything fixed in the quick scamper to change everything out. I missed something. So let me fix that CRN for you so that you get the right course. And again, please feel free to chime in and ask questions anytime. That would be helpful. Get that right number there. That'd be correct. Oops. Only 150. 38688. That's correct. Okay, that'll do it for you there. So please do get signed up if you're doing concurrent enrollment. Again, you have to have completed Architecture 1 and Architecture 2 through Weber State prior to do college credit this semester. Any questions on college credit for those of you who are here at the moment? Okay, let me go to the next page then. So what I've got here for you guys is starting right here is your first week's information. It is due on Friday midnight for you. And then there's a few other things down here. So the start here is to kind of lead you through kind of what's going on here. Some of this will be due next week, so we have time to talk about it in class. But let's kind of take a look at what you're going to be looking at here. Give a few more people a chance to log in here. Welcome, Eden. Glad you can make it. And Carlisle, I think that's how you say your name. Hopefully I got that right. What you're going to start with here is the Start Here button. This is just kind of a course introduction. Mainly get the groundwork worked out. We normally do this together today in class. Can't do that so much today. So you get to do it on your own. A couple of things here is starting at the top, and I'm just going to open it up and we're just going to kind of go through it real quick. This is the main starting point. It is a loop to take you back and forth if you get lost there. Then we go down to our bell schedule. This should be the current bell schedule, at least for the semester. Fridays will be a little weird. I wish I could say Fridays would be great, but you guys have next Friday, the 28th, is a non-student day. So just kind of keep track of what's going on. It's gonna be a little bit of a roller coaster ride this year. Next thing, so most of this is just introduction. This is the same bio that if you had me last semester, you've read before. You can skip through that. If you really want to know more, go through it. How to access your OneDrive from home is now part of the course. Again, I don't know how many of these work from homes we're going to have, so be prepared for that. So here's information on how to access your OneDrive. If you're at all not sure if that's going to work for you, I do have some USB drives that you can have to carry your files back and forth. Just let me know when I see you. And unfortunately, we didn't get the chance to check any laptops out to anybody this week. So it's gonna be a little bit of a different week. So I apologize for that, but I think we'll make the best use for it. After we get to that, then we have the syllabus. The syllabus is a required read. It is your contract. So just kind of go through that. You'll need to know that because there is a disclosure statement that needs to be signed. So all you're going to do down here is submit the following, this information here at the bottom: your full legal name, the ones on your school records, your student number, your home school. It does help if I know where your home school is. The way the rules are at the GTI, I have to really dig to find out what school you guys are from. So if you'll just include your home school, your school email, that's usually how I will email you, the name of the parent or guardian that you've talked to about the class, the date you reviewed it, and a date, time, phone number for your parent in case something comes up, and an email address for parent. Those 8 things you submit in order to have the syllabus checkoff completed. Again, remember there is, if you haven't done Weber State before, there will be a $30. Again, there's classes are prerequisite. So if you did not do Weber State concurrent enrollment, you're gonna have to just challenge the course when you get to school or college. We are doing a $5 per credit tuition. And it looks like those are a little out of the, I'll have to update that shortly here. Next page we'll look at is the deadlines. And again, these are hard and fast. I cannot change these deadlines for concurrent enrollment. You have to be registered by the 4th. And that's usually 5 p.m. for Weber State. So please, please, please make sure you don't put this off. Get it done this week, and then life's great and I don't have to worry about it. Makes things a little easier. Big old due dates there. I love that. Course fees. If you would, please pay your course fees as soon as possible. There's not a great amount of course fee for this course. It's a little one of the lower ones, but the sooner you pay it, the quicker we can get moving through the semester and supplies can be purchased. There's a few extra things we're going to do here that you're going to need to be aware of. So the way I want the course to go is we're going to design a project during 3rd quarter, and 4th quarter we'll then do marketing for that project. So by that I mean architectural renderings, both digital and traditional. By traditional I mean things like colored pencil, watercolor, things along those lines. So you have a little bit of a little more exposure there to the industry and what happens with projects that you're working on. So you do want to make sure you have that exposure. After the course fees, we'll then move into the design notebook. This is one that I'm not requiring you, but it is a helpful thing, especially as you're working on your designs. It doesn't have to be a notebook. It could be a folder, but somewhere where you're collecting ideas. So if you're just collecting all your ideas on a computer, that works fine. But things like materials for your floors, your windows, what type of windows do you like? Do you want a certain look on the roof line? Anything that you're gonna do to finish out your project, you don't want to start collecting, and so you have access to those, just to make it easier to find. But this is just kind of a brief review of those. These are much more important, especially as your custom design, and some of you will be wanting to do some of that as well. So please look at that as a tool to help you be a little more organized and keep track of things. I do have some notebooks still in class that if you need one, they're available for you that you can work with. They are gridded pages. But again, look at how you organize your files. The biggest problem we have here at the GTI is you guys not keeping track of where your files are located and keeping them organized. It's really a good life skill you want to develop on that. I'm going to skip this. This is a presentation. I'm going to skip that. You will be doing some presentations, but not for a while. It is possible to download Revit. I'm going to ask that you do not attempt to download Revit at home this week. Please don't. I'm going to try and set it up a little easier for you to get a direct link to where you don't have to do the proof of that you're in school. So if you will just hold off and not download Revit this week, we won't be using it this week. So if you'll just wait on that, I'd appreciate that. And then I'll get all set up for you that over the weekend, you should be able to hopefully receive an email from Autodesk inviting you to download that software. So my goal is that I'll have that done for you by tomorrow, and you'll get those emails in your school email account. I have to use your school email account. That's the only one Autodesk will allow. Those of you who are trying to download your own, if you use a Gmail account, you're going to have to go through a lot of hoops to prove that you're a student. So please watch for that in your school email. Any questions on software real quick before I move off of that? Okay, hope you guys are all enjoying your Cheerios this morning. All right, this one we're not doing right now. So happy day. So I've got set for, but we would have been doing this in class. That's not going to happen. We would have done it. So when you get back into class next week, we will be using the school city assessment tool. And I know you've used that in the past. It is a requirement now that we're past the main hurdles of COVID that I have to give the pre-assessment through school city now. So when we get back, you'll be doing this probably a week from today. You'll just go through and do your very best. In order to give you a little bit of incentive on that, whatever score you get in school city, I will add to Canvas as extra credit. So you want to at least read the questions. Most of it you'll be unfamiliar with, since the code that we're going to be using this semester is the International Building Code, which is a commercial code. It includes things like handicap accessibility, different types of materials, different rules for what size things can be. So it'll be a little bit different from what we've done in residential, but some of it will be familiar too. But just kind of be aware that there'll be some new things added that will be new to you as we go through our project this semester. But yeah, just kind of plan on that next Tuesday. You'll be logging into School City and doing a quick assessment to see what you know. Hopefully it'll all be working again. If it is not working, and there's a chance that it won't be, then we'll come back and do this one here in Canvas. But I'm supposed to do School City, so I'm going to try and be a good employee and follow the rules, at least for a little bit. Then I'll break it. Skip this again. Okay, there are more videos in this course for using Revit. There are more introduction videos for those that may have not been with me last semester. It's been a while. If you don't need to use them, don't look at them. This is just here for you to go through what you need. they're just a quick introduction to what Revit is, kind of reminder. So feel free to use those as needed. No assignment there. A lot of this is me trying to cover everything that would have been given to you at school and questions with a format that you can follow and review at home. All right, so now we're getting into the nitty gritty of the lessons. I've given you a couple things. There's a full set of commercial plans here. There's also a Quizlet. A Quizlet is not graded. It's just to help you with some terms and definitions. To get the full set, go here. So we need those. Oh my gosh, now we got to fix that apparently. Good. Okay. I think I know why. I'm not a student, so I'm trying to be a student. So I'll get those two links, make sure they're working. But where I am not on a student account, that's probably why, but I'll check those out for you. There is a kind of PDF to talk about what's important in commercial design. The big thing is everything we do commercially has to be accessible by every person, whether they're in a wheelchair, if they're on crutches, if they are in a gurney and being dragged around. You just want to be kind of aware of that. So this is kind of a little overview. Again, skim through it. Don't spend a lot of time with it, but just kind of skim through to get an idea, because you're going to be doing schematic designs at the end of the week for your project. And so just kind of go through and look at how we're the number things. So in residential, we number our sheets 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy peasy stuff. In commercial, we have to separate them out by discipline. And that's the big thing here is architectural sheets start with the letter A. So usually when I do commercial, my main floor is just the A100. And then every aspect that deals with the first floor is going to be a 100 number. So if I'm doing an enlarged restroom, that'd be maybe A101. If I'm doing elevations of a break room, that may be A104. But everything on the main floor is 1, second floor is 200s. Basements are 00s. We don't put a B for basement. We just, because B's are used for other things later, we just do 00. So kind of think about 100 being your main floor, 200 your second floor, 900 your ninth floor, so to speak. That would make sense. And then we break it out by civil engineering. Civil engineering is dealing with the way the soil is shaped and contoured. There's structural engineering, that's our framing, our beams, our trusses, all that will be under structural. Interiors would be things like furniture layouts. We will be doing some of those as well. Then we have plumbing, which is our P sheets. And that is like plumbing, water. Anything that's water is plumbing. Anything that's air is mechanical. And then we have electrical. So we'll be breaking up our drawings into those revision sheets and getting them all set up. Okay. So kind of just, again, skim through this, kind of get your feet a little bit ready to run when you get back. This is going to be a really rough semester to get everything done in. We have quite a few mandatory field trips that I did not have any say in. So that'll be fun. Yay. Mark your calendars. April 1st, you'll be missing school. We'll be spending the day at the Weaver campus in Davis, or in Layton, actually, it's Davis County, Layton City. We'll be there. You will need a resume for that day. We're going to try and find those you want better paying work and at least an introduction to the industry. We'll try and get you some jobs. And there'll be employers at this event from construction, which I recommend is a good place to start. Architecture, interior design, various subcontractors. There'll be a really good way for you to start making money. Almost every one of the employers at this event will pay for your college. So that's another big, huge incentive. If you feel like you have no way to get through college and you want to be in design, this is how we're going to do it. The other big thing is you're going to walk away from there with a lot of free stuff. For food that day, so you can get a little excited, Weaver State is paying food trucks to be there, and you can get your meal. You'll get a ticket. You get to choose the truck you go to, and you won't have to pay for a thing. You can get whatever meal you want. So that's gonna be kind of a nice little perk. If you like food truck food, I think it's kind of fun. But we'll be doing quite a lot. There'll be a lot there for you. So please look forward to April 1st. Put that on your calendars. Make arrangements now with other instructors that you will be missing that day. I really encourage you to put that into your back pocket there. And that's something that's going to be worthwhile. All right, I'm going to jump down here and let you guys kind of skim through that. Again, I'm asking you to skim it. I'm not asking you to read every word on this, okay? It's not an assignment. It's just background information to get you prepared. So when we get going on the course, you guys can really kind of fly. It is gonna be a lot of work, okay? We've got literally, well, what is it, 6 weeks to do an entire plan. And we're gonna build a model and all that. So what you're gonna do for January 28th, which is this kind of, next Friday, isn't it? Next Friday there's a skills review questions, just to so I know how much you do remember from working with Revit. The PowerPoint and the videos are going to be helpful on that. Feel free to use them. There is no closed book on this. You're doing it at home, so why would I expect you to not Google what you need? You're free to use Google videos in the course, anything you want to complete these. And you can take that. You have a limited attempts on this one, and it's only 8 questions. So again, don't freak out on homework this week. Do it soon and then be done with it, because you are going to get another 4-day week next week. So the next thing you've got coming up is, this is our project, okay? Just so you know, this project is a competition project. It is for a team of 6, up to 6, and I can do 2 teams, which just about takes in the entire class, knowing that there are some who will not compete. When Mike Zervos, our instructor here at GTI, died from COVID last semester, I inherited the TSA, and I will have to be there. And I am offering you guys to be a competitive team as well, to put things together. Working as a team is helpful, but you do have to work very, very quickly together. And we'll need to set things up so that you can work as quickly as possible on things. And we'll get that all set up and kind of work through that. But let's kind of look at what your design is. Some of you were introduced to it last semester and chose not to worry about it. This is the rules for it. There's a presentation that goes with this for one member of the team. But you do have to be pretty much on board with all the stipulations in here. So what I need to really point out has to happen. There's a lot of documentation required on this. Not only you have to have your drawings, but part of your team will also be constructing what's called a lead assessment. And what lead does is it makes sure your building is energy efficient. So they do a lot with solar panels, wind power, how do you take care of sewage, a lot of those type of things. We have to address all those issues and make this building as green and energy efficient as possible. So we look at ways of doing that. Kind of keep you involved in that. There is a team resume, and I'll help you with that as well. So just kind of skim over this, look over the rubric for the grading. This is how I'm going to grade your projects as well. So you're going to be looking at your design, your construction of your models, your scheduling materials, your sustainability, how you did your references and resources. So just kind of make sure you read through that. You then have to keep a log of how much you work on a project. I think this is if you were at work, you would have a time card that you would keep track of your hours on each project. And we've kind of mentioned this in other classes, is when you work on a project in an office, you're not going to work on one project. So you have to keep very detailed accounting of how many hours you work on project A, and then how many you work on project B, how many on project C and D, and so they're billed properly. So keeping track of your hours is a really important job skill that you're going to have in the next phase of your careers, and we're going to start that now. So I'll have a form for you that you can use to log this all down, and you'll be submitting that in. Some of you will be working at home on some projects because you just want to finish it, and that's fine. So kind of get you through there. So just kind of go through the rubric on this, get a little familiar with it, and I'm going to take you somewhere, maybe. I go back. Sorry, I just made the stream really small. Sorry about that. There's a great rubric again, high school design. And I think this is the project. Okay, here's your design. And now you're going to start thinking about this now, because you're going to have to submit to me a proposed layout when you get back. So we're going to do for the National Parks Service. You're going to pick any national park you want. There are a bunch of them. There are 417 national parks in the United States. You can pick any park that you are most familiar with or that you want to work around. What you're going to do is you're going to design a ranger station. That ranger station needs to be equipped to deal with any type of campfire that gets out of control, housing, technology issues. You have to deal with maybe first aid center, anything that you could think that would be needed in a park, a national park, you would want to include in your design. You need to be sure there's lodging for 12 rangers, both male and female. They're going to need to have restroom facilities. They need to have eating facilities. They need to have a place to store the personal items. So get thinking about how you're going to arrange that out, because they're going to be there for 12 months of the year. Most park rangers rarely get home. The only time off you have is your 2-month leave. So if you think about being a forest ranger, it is the #1 sought after job right now in the United States, but it does have some conditions to it. You need to make sure they have a way to communicate. So like, just kind of go through the scope here. Want to make sure it's designed for it's a comfortable living. If they're there for 10 months, it needs to be comfortable. There needs to be good kitchen facilities. You're not going to be able to do a kitchen for each individual. You have to make a community kitchen that handles 12 people comfortably without causing issues. And since most of you've never roommated with anybody, you have very little concept of what that's going to be like. We'll talk about that as we go through the design. A good set pantry, again, what they've got there is what they have to live on. Food doesn't get brought in weekly. It's usually brought in bi-weekly. So every 2 weeks, food is delivered. So a pantry that has substantial storage, at least 4 computer stations. Now, if you're doing 12 people and 4 stations, there could be some conflict there. So think about that carefully. You need a large meeting room for a conference center. Again, lots of storage areas, laundry. Think about how much laundry goes through your house. And if you are like my family, we have different days for different people to do laundry on. So we want to keep that in mind. They need to have sleeping rooms, I think space for bed, a nightstand, a foot locker, a 3-drawer dresser, a personal closet, and an exterior window. Every room has to have a window. That goes into our fire code. So if it's a sleeping space, there has to be a window. But you also want to make sure that window is designed to withstand things like 6 feet of snow, bears, moose ramming into them. What's one of the things we have in our parks is glass and reflective surfaces are not appealing to most animals. So make sure it's a structurally sound design. You might want to figure out maybe a deck or porch, someplace covered to get in. Look at how you're going to deal with water, electric, and sewer in that place. And your finished design can be 1 or 2 floors, but it has to fit on a 150 by 200 foot plot of land. That would fit on plotted at scale, 1/4 inch goes a foot, would fit on a 2 foot by 2 foot board. You're going to build a model of your design. So not only are you going to model it in Revit, you're going to build a physical model of it, which is where the time issues become pretty predominant. Ideally, we'd want to have these done by March 15th is the goal. That's what we're shooting for. So put that in your calendars. March 15th is when your design and model should be, I'm gonna say 85% complete. And then if you are willing to compete as a team, and if you want to compete solo, that's fine as well. This year's national convention, which would be the last week of June, is in Dallas, Texas. And when we get there, we will, one of the things we will do for sure is tour the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. If depending on the time of year and the timing of competitions, we might try and get to some glass blowing workshops that are there in one of the local sit towns. And we will definitely do Texas barbecue. So if you're interested in doing a week-long trip to Dallas, that's kind of what you want to shoot towards. Okay. Hopefully that helps a little bit on that. Let's see if I missed anything else. Let's just jump into the modules and make sure I didn't leave anything off that I wanted you to see. Okay, good. All right, so I should got one more. What I want you to create while you're here is I want you to create a bubble diagram of the layout for this ranger's house. Figure out how you're going to get the rooms arranged. Again, you can have 2 stories. I would recommend you consider a fire lookout if you're doing a 2-story building. We still use those in the United States, where you can find where lightning strikes hit, so we can get the right equipment in quick enough to keep a fire from getting out of hand. Some states have chosen not to build those anymore. States like Utah, for example, still uses smoke towers. And this is a tower that's above the tree line that allows for a ranger to spend some time up there and just watch for smoke. It's a kind of an important aspect of it, since smoke does not show up on radar. There's a little video here on how to make a bubble diagram. It doesn't have to be super fancy. It just needs to be a way for you to collect your ideas. And I'd recommend that you do at least 3 of these. They don't take a great amount of time, but you want to look at different ways in which your rooms are organized and which ways they are connected together, how the traffic pattern is going to go. So you want to include things like hallways, where the community area is going to be. So like a living room, does that living room need to be separate from an entertainment room? If you've been up in camping for 10 months straight, there's a little bit of a cabin fever effect that takes in. So distractions are always welcome. So think about what you can incorporate to keep a sense of sanity with 12 people living together that aren't family. That's a little different dynamic than you've experienced. But just kind of give yourself at least 3 different options for how you want to lay out your project. Okay. I'm going to go back to the home page now. Any questions so far? Can be one of those semesters. All right, over here on this home page on the right-hand side, you got this, again, don't worry about the state skills assessment. That's not going to happen until you get back. You want to do the welcome to your class, which is your little brief about yourself. Kind of go through. These are just announcements that are, they got the horn, those are announcements. Please read those. Course disclosures need to be done. Your project bubble sheet and your Revit skills test. So you got 1, 2 quiz type things, which are more or less multiple choice. You have 2, one that's provide information, and one that's a bubble diagram. And if you look, those are on some of these are due on the 21st, which is Friday, and some are on a week from Friday. So I've given you some time on the bubble diagrams. Again, if you get them done early, that's great. It makes your life a little easier. But just kind of keep that in mind. Okay. All right, surely there's at least one question. They're going to be done before an hour has even passed.
I have a question.
Oh, good.
It's with the concurrent enrollment. So when it brings me to the page where I select my school where I'm taught, I can't find my home school.
Your home school's not there?
No.
Is Granite Technical Center on there?
Yeah, that one's on there.
Use that. using
Okay.
Granite Technical Center. They keep flipping back and forth. So like SUU will make you do your homeschool, and Weber has changed every semester which way they go. But Granite Technical Center, use that one.
Okay.
Don't know why they put, I don't know why they didn't do institutions, similar characters, but that's okay. But yeah, just use that one. Does that help?
Yeah, that helped.
Great.
Now it's brought me to a page where it gives me 4 different options to add fees.
Okay.
Do I add all of those?
No, do not add. All you didn't, don't. So if you, could you read those off, because I can't see that page. I know, crazy thing, huh?
Yeah. One of them, the first one says BDC 1350. Then it has your name next to it.
No, that's the class you've already taken. That's architecture 2.
Okay, and then the next one is RHS 2300.
You want me to know? Don't take that one.
The next one is GMT 2360
G or is it C?
or CMT, sorry.
CMT, that's the core. That is architecture 3. CMT 2360 is the course you sign up for.
Okay, and what about IDT 10?
That's architecture 1.
Okay,
Yeah, not sure what that 4th one is. That's kind of weird. But yeah, just the CMT 2360 for this class.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. So is that still a 4-credit class?
I believe so.
Okay. So that'd be a $20 tuition fee.
Yeah.
So, okay, good deal. Thanks. That kind of helps. Then those that are watching the recording will have that information. Will save a little bit of grief. Okay. Any other questions? All right. So what you're going to do is hopefully you should within the next 24 hours in your school email receive an invite from Autodesk about installing Revit. You'll just need to follow the rules, the instructions in that. I'll post in more instructions and announcements regarding that to help you get through there for those that want it at home. Now, if you only have Mac products at home, you're not gonna be able to download it. It has to be on a PC, and you then need at least 18 gig of open space on your hard drive. So, and again, if it's not required, I'm just gonna set up the whole class. So you don't have to download it. But we do have some laptops you can set up. If you want to check them out, we can do that as well. So just depending on what happens. Theoretically, after this week, we shouldn't have another one of these if everything goes the way some scientists are saying. They say some because they're not all in green. The main reason you guys are at home, so you know, in full disclosure, is the state is out of testing kits for those that want to test to stay, which is why the governor said, if you feel sick, stay home, because we don't have enough tests to check for COVID right now. Hopefully by the end of the week, we'll be back up in supply, and then life goes back to our normal way of living. So there's the statements on those. I had hoped a few more of you would have been in here today, but that's okay. What else can I do for you guys? What do you need from me today?
Just double checking. The only thing we have to do for now is the bubble diagram and the Revit skills question.
So you got the Revit skills questions, the bubble diagram, and the course disclosures.
Okay, thank you.
Those bottom 3 on the left-hand side. I'll remove that pre-test. One, because you really can't do that at home. Well, you can, but they want you to do it here. So we'll just do what I'm told, I guess, right? And then hopefully we'll get back. And again, remember, next week is a 4-day week as well. You'll have next Friday off, which is a non-student day. So it's gonna be kind of hard to get everything disclosed in here. So we'll be moving pretty quick. That's kind of why I want you to do your bubble diagrams before you come back, if you can at all do that, so you have an idea of what you're going to work with there. Once you get those done, I will put in some room sizes charts for you to kind of get an idea of rooms that you want to put in there. They're in pretty tight spaces, so spaces where people can be alone would be good. Your dorms could be for one person or for two. That's up to you, how you want to lay that out and how you lay out the number of restrooms. Just remember, you've only got a certain sized piece of property to work with, so you can't exceed that. And you do need to maintain at least 30 feet on every side of the building that's there. Hey, Zayden, go ahead, man. Your hand's up. Let's hear from you.
So can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, that's good. I was just wondering, do you think that they're going to be okay with hiring someone at the April thing? Do you think that they would hire someone who is enlisted in the Marines or?
Oh yeah, most of those people, most of our contractors are either guardsmen themselves or they've been military in the past. But there's a lot of those. So yeah, I think there's a.
Okay.
Now, are you talking about just for the couple of weeks before you go to basic?
So I leave in August, like August 1st.
Yeah,
so
they'd hire you for the summer. No problem on that. There's so
awesome.
much work that they need as many bodies as they can get. So yeah, they'd hire you for that. Absolutely.
That's good. All right.
Yeah,
That's
if
all.
you're going in July, that might be a little tricky, but if you're here for the whole summer, that'd be good.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. Thanks for asking it. Okay, anybody else? Those are good questions so far. Glad they had them because they do help those that aren't here. Okay, so I will be basically in Zoom all day, each day of this week. If you ever need anything, I'm going to put in the chat for you my phone number at my desk. I will always be here till at least 4 o'clock every day. So if you guys have any questions at all, you can give me a call and we can work through them as we go through. I really cut a lot of stuff out of this first week, and we're gonna have to figure a way to figure that out. But that's my job, not yours. So in the chat room is my phone number that rings right here at the desk. I'm pretty much locked in my room while you guys are not here. I can go to the restroom, but I'll be right back to my desk. So we have some rules we're running here, but feel free to copy that number down and use that to get a hold of me if you have any questions, especially where the Zoom meeting is not going to be the full class period, 2.5 hours. One, no one wants that, and two, no one wants that. So we're going to go ahead and call this one. We're going to come up front on just under an hour. That'll probably be the same on Wednesday for you as well. Wait, this is Thursday. Sorry. On Thursday, this isn't Monday, is it? On Thursday, it'll be the same type of thing. Unfortunately, you guys are going to miss out on, again, a Friday for a while. But to really think about what a forest ranger station should look like, do a little bit of research on your own. I've only given you about 2 hours of homework on this. So expand out, do some personal searching on this, figure out how you want this to look, get some ideas of what you want to look at. It doesn't have to be log. In fact, I'd probably encourage you to avoid log. If you want to do log, we can do something with like a faux log, mainly because you're going to need to insulate this for winter. Log cabins are notoriously cold. It doesn't matter where you are, they're cold because you can't seal every joint because the logs expand and contract. So if you want the log look, that's fine, but we have to look away how to do that and meet the commercial code. Residentially, it's easy, but when it's a commercial space like this, it's a little more tricky to put in there. So, but do get your look down. What do you want it to look like? Get a feel for that. Get a feel for what kind of roof you want on there. Just do a little bit of research and looking at ranger stations and get some ideas there. Save them to a folder. Hopefully you can access your OneDrive, create a folder for Architecture 3 that you can start putting some things in. and that'll work as well. So, all righty. Anything else? All right, on that happy note, we'll call this lesson today, and then we'll move on to, then you just take the rest of the time. The class usually goes until 11:10. That's a long time. No, it doesn't, does it? Sorry, 10:15. So if you would take the time right now to do those assignments, you would be good and done for the week and off and running. So I'm just going to let you guys go. And like I say, I will keep this open. If you need to jump back in, you're welcome to do that. Or if you want to just call, that works as well. Okay. But you are now released to do your assignments.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to stop the recording.
Thanks, Dr. Peskett.
Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it.